en welkom weer bij een nieuwe aflevering van de Eonics Podcast. En dit is de NIXZ Takeover. Vandaag zitten we met...
Robert.
Amazing.
Oké, kleine opmerking. Robert spreekt Engels, dus we gaan het even switchen naar English. Hello there, Robert. How are you doing, my friend?
Pretty good. Yeah. Quite hyped to be here.
I'm glad to hear. Welcome at the podcast with me as host.
Thank you so very much.
To formally introduce you, who are you? Where are you coming from? What are you doing here?
Yeah. So I just happen to be around. No. My name is Robert. I'm currently the lead software developer at NIXZ Solutions. You probably know me around because I'm around the office usually. What I do here is that I'm trying to make sense of the chaos sometimes. So I'm basically trying to manage the project to make sure that they go in the right direction. It is quite busy. It's been quite busy lately, but we're rising. We're still at the startup phase, I would say. So it's kind of normal. If it would have been different, that would have been great, but. I'm coming from Romania, so I'm a Romanian. I think I also mentioned this in one of the previous podcasts. So, but I think I'll just repeat myself a bit. That's not a problem.
Don't tell Marcus I didn't watch it.
I'm a Romanian. I moved in the Netherlands when I was 18. I started studying here at Delft, and then I also started working at Eonics. After one year, I also finished my studies after 1 year after I started working here, and decided to continue. Currently I'm kind of pretty much used to all the processes that we do here and all the automation that we do on the NIXZ side, because currently I've been moved and I'm working on the NIXZ side, so I'm not part of Eonics anymore because NIXZ was born because it didn't exist when I joined, actually, even though I was from the beginning part of that project.
Okay.
So that's a bit about myself.
So I have one question about you. I am working like very long time with you.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't know how old you are.
No, that's impossible.
Really.
That's impossible. Sure. Okay. No, I'm
24?
What?
24.
No, I'm 22.
22?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Man, you don't look 22.
I thought you knew.
No. So we're the same age.
Yeah, pretty much.
Whoa, this is mind blowing.
Yeah. I mean, I had the same reaction from Rowan, one of our colleagues. That's why I thought you knew. Yeah.
I didn't. No. I really didn't.
No, I'm actually
nice.
22. Yeah.
So you told me that you studied at Delft.
Mm-hmm.
Which college did you go?
So I did computer science and engineering at Delft. So it's basically the faculty of EMCS, electrical engineering, mathematics, and computer science.
TU Delft?
Yeah, it's TU Delft. And after 3 years, I finished my bachelor. Also was crazy enough to do a minor in modern physics. Mm-hmm. Also had a lot of fun and a lot of pain caused by by that minor, but still I really enjoyed it a lot. I like putting myself in those kind of positions. So I enjoyed a lot. It's always nice to have a challenge to test your limits. Mm-hmm. I think that's welcome from time to time.
Nice. And how did you actually came by working in the IT sector?
Exactly as well. It kind of made sense since I did computer science, right? So I was actually looking for a job in the IT sector, and I was contacted by someone from Eonics, and I decided, sure, let's give it a shot. But even before, are you referring to even before?
Before. I'm really curious. When I was a little child, I really loved working with computers and stuff. So that's how I became developer.
I actually didn't work that much with computers. If you take a look at my history, I had long list of switches of subject switches. Mm-hmm. While I was in high school, I was still kind of indecisive about what I wanted to do in the future. Firstly, I think, I started with I wanted to apply for the architecture university. Well, not university, the faculty of architecture. That was when I was about 14, 15, and then I switched. My father proposed that I could do the medical college, so that also would have been an idea. It's not that I don't like those fields. I actually find those as being also very interesting. But I think the time commitment in actually doing something in those fields is a lot bigger than the time commitment that in the IT field. Until you manage to actually do something as a doctor, it kind of lasts. I don't know. I don't know exactly what structure is in the Netherlands, but in Romania you have to do 6 years of university and then 5 years of practice until you become a doctor. So it's like 11 years until you are actually able to practice that, the practice in the field, which is normal. I find that as being a normal requirement since you're playing with people's lives. So I decided not to go with that, and it kind of made sense, I would say, because I had some colleagues that were going to contests during high school, and I also like video games and all that. So I told myself that I should also give it a try and create some websites, do a little bit of programming. I was fair enough at programming, even though I didn't exercise it at all. I didn't have anyone to. So as you said, while you were a kid, you liked tinkering around with things. My family was and still is somehow pretty much non-technical. So my father is a military person, and my mother is working in the banking field. So they don't have that much experience in the IT industry, and they didn't know how to guide me. That's why they have guided me to different kind of professions. But while I was thinking, I think I was about 16 years old. While I was thinking about all the future fields that I could choose, after joining a bit of some contests, I actually went and won some contests in Romania by building some websites and some platforms and all that. And I thought that was pretty fun. I got some awards, and I thought to myself, this is something really fun to do, and also it's really useful for the future. So you can actually leverage this skill of programming and automating to make your life easier. It can be applied to all the fields. So I think it's at that point, and I still think the same even now, that it's a very good starting point. It allows you to improve your logical thinking. So it's a good starting point for any field. So once you know how to program, once you know how computational thinking works, how to think programmatically, and how to solve problems, that's going to help you a lot in actually figuring out problems in any field. It even helped me in doing my physics courses, in everything. It just purely improves your thinking, I would say. And it also allows you to automate everything. So after you solve task once, then you can just have it done and you don't have to do it again. So it kind of made sense, I would say. And I continued doing that. Even though my interests are not limited to the IT fields, I also enjoy pretty much investing in the stock market and how it works, and also the crypto market. I enjoy those things a lot, and I'm trying to enlarge my knowledge base. And I think that IT was a very good decision in actually putting a base into my logical thinking to be able to grasp all the data from all the other fields, I would say. So it really helped a lot, and right now I'm really glad that I chose to go with computer science and engineering.
Yeah, we are too. We're very glad that you're here.
Yeah.
If I hear what you're saying, it feels like you were born to do IT.
I wouldn't necessarily say so. No, that's. But I like solving problems, right? I like solving problems in general. So I want people to have easier lives. It just made sense somehow. So exactly. If I can make my life easier and others' lives easier, why not do that? And I can start from there, and onwards I'll just see exactly what my interests are and what I want to do. I would like to also do my research while when I'll be about 30 years old. I'm really passionate about life extension possibilities. So I would like to again leverage my skills in data analysis and automation to
that's nice.
to study exactly how the human body works, and also do some study into genetics, because data analysis is also very important in there. And again, I still find the choice of going with IT as being a very wise one, because it really works as a very good base for whatever other passions I might have in the future.
Okay. And you also mentioned that you were born in Romania. How are you doing that right now? Like, you're now in Holland, you go often back to Romania. How do you do that, and how is the workflow and the remote working? How do you experience that?
I would say for me it's not a problem. While I'm focused on something, I manage to kind of block anything else that goes around me. And I also find it good that it's a mix of both. So I'm trying to be as consistent as possible. So while I'm in the Netherlands, I'm trying to consistently come to the office. I think this is also an experience that is somehow needed in the end. And I also consider that for the mental health of anyone, they should be allowed to choose exactly what they're going to do. But I would say that both experiences are needed, also the office one and the remote work one. Office work is important because it allows you to properly connect with your peers, with your colleagues, to grow together with them, to solve problems together. Because in the end, company is not made out of one person or distinct persons just doing their jobs. It's about being a team. So it really helps to be around the others. While at the same time, it also helps to work remotely, because you have some time to focus on your tasks and getting them done properly, because, well, you might get interrupted, you might get in a talk with your colleagues, which is not wrong. Like, being social is, again, there's nothing wrong with that. But I would say that having the best of both worlds is to allow the person to just choose exactly how much it wants of both of these options. And I'm pretty much doing a bit of work at the office while I'm in the Netherlands. I just come to the office every day. Find that as being very productive. And while in Romania, I take my time to focus on the problems and what I have to solve. So I might be a bit late to answer to some questions or things that are happening. So that will be, I would say, the disadvantage. But the advantage is that I can really be very focused on what I'm doing while I'm there. So there are advantages and disadvantages in both kinds of work. And currently I also have some problems that I would like to avoid going by plane. I don't really like flying that much. So I also find it very, very funny, because I'm going to be traveling by train a lot in the following months. And I find that as a big win, because while I'm on a plane, I cannot actually work. But while I'm on a train, I can just take my laptop out. I have an internet connection through a mobile hotspot, and then I can just work, while avoiding the outrageous lines from airports and the stress of flying sometimes, because I really don't like flying. I find it amazing, but I still don't really like doing it.
Why don't you like it?
Too often? What?
Why don't you like flying?
I know it is one of the safest means of transportation. I do know that. I'm aware of that. But still, right? If the car engine stops while you're traveling with a car, what happens? Well, you just get into a standstill. That's all right. But what happens if there's an engine problem on a plane? Well, it's not going to fall. It's just going to glide. But if the conditions are bad, so if you're not in the right place to land, then, well, it can pretty much say your goodbyes. So this thoughts doesn't really help me. Although I know that the chances of doing that of that happening are extremely low. I would like to go with the safest means of transportation, and as far as I know, there's only one which can prove to be a bit safer than flying, and that is going by train. Although the disadvantage is that it takes a lot of time. Some people might not have the patience to go by train, but I'm not in a rush. I don't have many problems with waiting. So it's for me, it's better than that way, and I can just focus and work as much as I want, rather than being stressed about going with a plane and not being able to work while on the plane and while staying at the nefarious lines in the airport. So yeah, I find going by train as being a lot better for me, not necessarily for everyone.
Okay, well, that's very nice to hear.
Mm-hmm.
Also have one more question for you.
Mm-hmm.
You're now developing here at NIXZ. What do you want to do in the future? Like, do you want to keep doing what you're doing now, creating robots, or do you want to go like in a different style? Because you also mentioned like data analysis and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm currently also having my own projects, and I'm doing my own research in general. I'm very curious about ways of possibly detecting patterns in the stock market and the crypto market, and I know it is possible. I certainly know it is possible because it has been done previously. I don't know if you ever heard of the Medallion Fund.
No, what's that?
There's actually it's a hedge fund which was funded by a mathematician. I think his name, I might not be correct here, but I think his name is Jim Simons. I might be wrong there, but you can look for the Medallion Fund and you'll find it. And this certain mathematician, he managed to beat the market consistently almost every year. The stock market index, the S&P index, grows with an average of 10%, let's say, roughly per year. So if you have your funds in there, in the S&P index, you can expect over a large period of time to get 10% interest every year. So each year, the sum of money that you have invested rises with something like 10%. The power of that is that it compounds, right? So it becomes bigger and bigger. So if you have 10%, then you have out of 100, you have 110. Then the next year is 10% of 110, which is a bit more. It's 11 euros. And then you have 10% of 121, and so on and so forth. So it kind of compounds every year. It gets bigger and bigger. But with this certain hedge fund named the Medallion Fund, what they did is something extraordinary. They managed to almost consistently get a 60% return every year. So imagine,
nice.
yeah, but imagine the compounding on that. So the difference after 10 or 20 years, like orders of magnitude, because while the S&P would go from 100 to 110, you would go next year from 100 to 160, and then 60% of that, and then 60% of that. And just imagine the S&P would just get to 160 in like 7 years, while with this, in only 1 year, you get to 160.
Exactly.
So the power, nice. the power of that is fantastic. And what the guy did, what he managed to do is absolutely amazing. He consistently managed to beat the market, which is something that no one could do, and still that no one can do at current times, but it was possible, it seems like. He basically surrounded himself with researchers. So it's a very strange company that he had. And he just hired PhD students and people and people that graduated from technical fields like mathematics and physics, and only that he didn't like investors and trade-oriented, business-oriented people, and he managed to have the most, I would say, the most successful hedge fund ever by not having any business-oriented person in his company. So that must say something about data analysis, I would say, and about the power of finding patterns and mathematics. It's known that they used some data analysis, some models, some artificial intelligence models, but well, it's secret. It's still a trade secret that what they were doing, and I'm really curious to know exactly. So that's where my research lies right now. But it's not only that, right? So whenever I feel like doing something, I just do it. I start with my projects. And to come back to your question, I would still like to work, of course, for NIXZ in the following years. I don't find that as being a problem, but also I will work at the same time on my projects. I don't have a certain plan, but usually if I find something as being interesting, then I'll just invest my time in it and I'll see where that goes. And also with NIXZ, the thing is that it will get more automated with time. So that's also the goal, to automate everything, and that will require less of my time. And in the end, I will be able to even spend, let's say, a bit less on this and shift my focus on my personal projects or on investing, and then later in my life, as I said, I would like to take a look at life extension possibilities. So I would say that's kind of my plan. I don't know if it sounds good or bad, but
no, it sounds like a real good plan.
Yeah,
it sounds like you're going to be rich.
Thank you so very much. I hope so. I can at least hope so. But until now, it's proven to not be correct.
Is there something you want to tell to the listeners and to the watchers?
Well, I would say have a productive day. That's usually
your quote.
Yeah, my typical quote. That's how I start. That's how I used to start each and every one of my mornings. But now it's kind of been also borrowed by some of the colleagues. But that's still my motto: try to be as productive as possible and try to do as much as possible with your time. Because, well, in the end, I would say that after some years, you will kind of regret that you didn't do something productive, more meaningful with your time, right? I mean, it's also good to have fun. I'm not saying that that's not. But if you go past a certain points, well, you're going to regret that you didn't do more meaningful things earlier in your life, I would say. So I don't want to feel that. I would never like to feel this this certain sentiment. So that's why I'm also kind of pushing myself a bit more while I'm young, such that I can take it easier when I grow a bit older.
Well, I gotta say, I really like your positive vibes in the morning, and it's really helpful. Let me say it like that.
Thank you.
It's really good to have someone positive in the morning. For me as well. Like, I'm very grumpy in the morning, and then I heard positive day. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, well, I find no reason to be negative, right? Even if something goes wrong, even if I would say there's a mistake, even if a client is angry, even if the system is down, or right, if you're upset about it, it's only going to impact the way that you're going to fix it or the way that you're going to think about it. So I would say that what we can do is to stay as positive as possible and try to solve the problem. That's it.
Well, thank you for being here and having the podcast with me.
I thank you so very much, guys.
En dan back to Dutch. Ik wil jullie allemaal bedanken voor het kijken, voor het luisteren. Laat een like, subscribe, weet ik veel, doe iets. En tot de volgende keer.